What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, here filtering through the lanes in Florida. Oh, we're going to get a burger real quick at BurgerFi. And yeah, we're going to talk over a recent accomplishment for this particular bike, which is we have hit 40,000 miles. 40,000 miles on this 2018 Honda CBR600RR. So let's get some food in us and talk about just the ownership experience of the bike. Things that have gone wrong, things that I've learned, and overall, can you live with this bike for day-to-day commuting, day-to-day living, day-to-day riding? Can you do it on this bike? I put tire pressure in the tires. We were like in the low 30s in the front and the rear, and I put the rears up to 42 and the front to 36, and man, it feels like so much sharper. I like it. A good ass burger, some Cajun fries. If you get fries, you have to get them with Cajun or something. And we're joined by Carlos, not in his S1000 today, but his R1, which he has mint, very mint. Bunch of carbon fiber everywhere. Aftermarket exhaust, just straight up chilling. So I kind of really wanted to talk about the bike. This bike has now pretty much just about done 40,000 miles on this 2018 CBR600RR. 40,000 miles on its original engine with no issues. So with this bike, given its age, only 6 years old, 40,000 miles, it's a lot of miles, bro. It's definitely not lightweight when it comes to the mile department. And I mean, there's bikes from the 90s that don't even have 20,000 miles, let alone 40. So this bike has done a lot of sightseeing in the short amount of time that it's been on the road in those 6 years. And let me tell you, I have had absolutely zero issues with it. Never been left stranded, never failed to start up. And it feels just as it did when it was brand new. I've ridden on these brand new, which is still the same generation, but I've ridden on the new ones, and bro, it's the exact same. Like, it feels the exact same on the bike. It does not feel like a 40,000 mile bike, and that's partly due to the previous owner history, and then having it just being very well maintained. I feel okay. So the only issue that I had from it was the kickstand sensor, where when I pulled the kickstand up, the bike was still recognized as if the kickstand was down, so when you go into gear, it would just shut off. That's it. And then obviously replacing the stator, but that was more because it got stolen and they broke it essentially. But apart from that, the normal things I've done is, well, obviously the oil changes, brake fluids, or just fluids in general. I changed the spark plugs and then air filter. That's it. Haven't done anything else. Nothing. No valve check, nothing at all. There's just minimal, like, everyday regular maintenance, everything that you could do yourself. That was really good. And he's done things to it because he is an enthusiast. And I feel like if you're buying from an enthusiast, you're buying good motorcycles, you know? However, I do feel like buying used has that stigma that you never really know what you're gonna get. And I mean, man, that's why you gotta test ride these things too before you buy them. Like, you can't just buy without riding or buy without inspecting. Like, there's people I know that buy sight unseen. I have a buddy that bought his car sight unseen from like literally across the country. And unfortunately, those things that were overlooked that he then had to rectify once the car got here. And that is wild. Like, buying sight unseen for me is something that I just will never really get my head around, unless like I've had it before. You know what I mean? Like, if I've had like 8 R6s before, yeah, I can buy one sight unseen. Oh, big ass house. I can buy one sight unseen because I can ask the seller things about that bike that I know because I've had so many of them. By the way, guys, this is probably one of the richest parts of like Miami. Like, this is, you're talking about $30 million houses, $20 million houses. Like, these people have basketball courts, tennis courts, pools, paddle courts, like out in their backyards, like literally in their backyard. These people are definitely not buying used, or maybe they are. I don't know. Look at that. I mean, you probably can't tell on the camera, but god damn, those fucking nuts. Money, money, money. Going back to this bike, I've clearly done some aftermarket adjustments. Like, I bought it with the original, believe it or not, the original levers were still here. The brake and the clutch lever were still on the bike. And we changed that. We changed the grips. Apart from that, we really haven't changed much else. Obviously, the K&N filter. And we just try to look after our things, man. We try to clean or change every 200 to 500 miles, clean and lube. And then oil changes I like to do every 2,000 miles. That R1 sounds so mean, bro. It reminds me of the R's before. So yeah, man, in terms of just basic maintenance, this bike has done wonderfully. And that's what Honda have been known for. You have these Japanese bikes that have this whole reliability shtick to it. And there's a reason for it. It's because they're reliable. Their valve maintenances are way farther apart as opposed to any European motorcycle. And just overall parts and labor is a lot cheaper than on these European models. Which is why Japanese bikes are such great bikes to start on, assuming you know nothing about mechanical work. If you like to tinker, even better, because you can buy the parts, figure stuff out yourself, go through it, and it's not that bad. If it goes to shit, you can always replace back to standard, just buy the OEM part and then just put it back to how it originally was, and that's it. It's very hard to fuck these things up. The only thing I honestly wouldn't do myself is mess with the suspension, like lowering or raising the forks or whatever the case may be, bro. Like, I'm just scared of doing that shit. But if you've been thinking about getting a used bike, don't let it stop you, man, just because it has high miles. Just obviously do your due diligence, you know, like go over things, go on the forums, go on the internet, go on YouTube, search common issues that the bikes have, verify that with the owners. Oh, he took it. I wanted to kind of give him space. Verify with the owner of the bike. And just make sure it's either been rectified or it's never had that issue. And just look for telltale signs of it having any kind of problems. Like, if you see in the bottom of the engine, does it look moist? You know, is it wet? Is it oily? Is it corroded? Is there rust? Is there... Those are things that you want to look for, especially at the bottom of the engine, because that's where everything just flows down. It's basically gravity. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a little thing that affects us all. And yeah, look at the lines. Make sure the lines aren't kinked. Make sure the lines look decent. You can tell when lines are just like worn out, like just absolutely dry rotted, gone to shit. Like, those are little things here and there that you can tell whether a bike has been properly maintained or not. Check the gas tank. Is there rust in the gas tank? If there is, just skip it altogether. Don't even bother taking it for a test drive, because you're not going to get that bike. You don't want to deal with that. So it's just little things like that, man, that you got to look at. Like, people automatically get turned off by higher mileage stuff, and bro, sometimes those are the nicest gems out there, bro. Like, yes, they've been used, but the guy that takes care of them is like a 62-year-old dude that lives in the middle of fucking nowhere, has a garage full of 12 bikes, and he meticulously goes over every single one of them every morning with a do-rag to make sure that dust particles have not sat on that bike for longer than 32 seconds. Like, so you never know. And then he's obviously an enthusiast. He rides them. That's why he got them. So don't let mileage turn you away. You know what I mean? Do you think this bike's slow? Yes, it has 40,000 miles. Is it slow? No, it's just as fast as when it was new. You're gonna have just as fun for a discount because of high mileage. So from what Carlos was saying, he bought the bike in 2020, and he bought it with, I think, like 4,000 miles. And then he's put on, so now it's 17, so he's put on 13 in 4 years. But again, you have to remember, here in South Florida, bro, I mean, you're riding year round, basically. Look at this. January is literally New Year, January. And look at this, bro. There's people like windsurfing or kite surfing, however it's called, just chilling. So yeah, Carlos's bike, 17,000 miles on a 2015 R1. I'm telling you guys, I want to end the video with this. I want to let you guys know, if you guys are looking to get a motorcycle or a car, whatever the case may be, because it applies to cars as well, as long as you do your due diligence and you check obviously the big ticket items, right? Things up very obvious, like transmission, engines, things like that, frames. The other miscellaneous stuff, yes, of course, you want to make sure it's in good order. Like, don't let high mileage be an equivalency to shit bike or shit car, because it just isn't. This bike has gotten me through 2024 with no issues, apart from the kickstand thing, but that's an easy fix. So the only thing I can recommend is make sure you do your due diligence. If you don't know much about bikes and you have a buddy that does, go to your buddy. They're gonna understand. So, and if you don't have a buddy that's mechanically inclined, do your research on the forums. Take your time to really learn what the common issues on that bike or car are, and then just address them with the seller. And if you feel like they're being disingenuous, or if you feel like they're being misleading in any way, then don't buy it. But if everything makes sense, it lines up, you check that out mechanically, it's fine, but it has high miles, bro, who cares? Enjoy the bike. You're probably getting a good deal on it because other people are scared for no reason, and little did they know that it's been very well maintained, with oil changes done on schedule, fluids changed constantly, never dropped, blah 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 blah. I think I'm gonna leave it there. If you guys enjoyed the content, enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, helps out the channel a ton, and thank you guys for the support. It's gonna be a great 2025. Looking forward to a lot of exciting stuff coming up. You guys already saw the new bike that we got. If you haven't, again, I'll put a card up or link in the description down below. And yeah, as always, ride safe, have fun, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!